In this tutorial, we will create and run a simple Java application that prints Hello World to the console. Along the way, we will also see some IntelliJ IDEA features that can boost our productivity. All of these features are available in IntelliJ IDEA with or without the Ultimate subscription. We can create a new project from the welcome screen by clicking on the New Project button. Since we want to create a Java project, make sure Java is selected under New Project on the left. We'll call this project Hello World. If we wanted to, we could change the default project location, but let's go with the default. While I would advise you to use version control for your code, that's a different topic. We will not create a Git repository just yet. We can always add our project to version control later. For now, we will use the IntelliJ build system to keep it simple. When you start using external dependencies, I would highly recommend you start using Maven or Gradle. We need to select a Java Development Kit, JDK, for compiling this project. IntelliJ IDEA shows a list of detected JDKs if we've already downloaded any to our computer. If we want to use a new JDK, we can download one. For this tutorial, we'll use Java 25, which is currently the latest Java version. Java 25 introduced some nice new language features that make getting started with Java a lot easier. Java is packaged and provided by a number of different vendors. JDKs from all major vendors can be downloaded from IntelliJ IDEA. We'll go with Oracle OpenJDK. We could also select a JDK by a different vendor. Since we will do everything from scratch in this tutorial, we'll unselect Add Sample Code. When we are done with the configuration, we can click Create. The IDE will spend a bit of time downloading and installing the JDK. We need to wait for it to complete before we can continue. I like to put the IntelliJ IDEA window to full screen to give me the maximum amount of space for code. We can see that IntelliJ IDEA has created a project for our application. The Project Tool window shows us all the directories and files that make up our project. We can use the mouse to navigate this window, but we can also use the arrow keys. With Java 25, we can create a compact source file in the root of our project. Right-click on Source in the project directory and select New Java Compact File. IntelliJ IDEA will suggest a default name for our compact source file. Let's change the name of our file to Hello World. IntelliJ IDEA has created a new helloworld.java file and generated the basic content of this compact source file, a main method. The main method is the starting point for any Java program. Inside the main method, let's call a method that prints some text to the console. IntelliJ IDEA's code completion can help us write this code. If we type I, we see a drop-down of likely classes we might want to use. We want to use I/O from the Java lang package. We can use the arrow keys to select this option in the list. If we press a dot, IntelliJ IDEA will complete our code with the word I/O and place a dot after it. This will also bring up the next suggestion. We want to print a line to the console, so we need the method println. If println is at the top of the list, as it is here, we can press Enter to select it. When we type a double quote, the editor automatically inserts a closing quote, so we don't have to remember to close our strings. Now let's type Hello World. If this is your first time programming in Java, congratulations! You've just created your first Java application. Java files like this one can be compiled into bytecode and run. IntelliJ IDEA can do all of that for us. We can run our program from the green Run icon in the gutter next to the main method. We can see there's more than one way to run an application. For example, we could debug it. For this tutorial, we're going to run it in the simplest way possible. IntelliJ IDEA compiles the file, runs it, and shows the output in the Run tool window down at the bottom. The second line in this window is the output of our program, the Hello World we told it to print. The first line shows the command that was used to run the program. We don't usually need to worry about this, but it can be useful to know exactly what was run and how. For example, we can see the command that specifically runs our Hello World class. We can also see exactly which JDK was used, which can be useful if we have multiple versions of Java installed on the same machine. The last line says the process finished with exit code 0, which means that the program ran without an error. Let's take a quick look at what happened when we ran the application. IntelliJ IDEA compiled the helloworld.java file into a class file. By default, the IDE creates a folder called out. This folder contains a folder called production. Production code, meaning code that isn't test code, is put into the production folder. IntelliJ IDEA creates a folder for our Hello World project. The compiled class file Hello World class can be found at the end of this directory hierarchy. IntelliJ IDEA also created something called a run configuration for the application we ran. If we want to, we can run or debug any of these run configurations from the navigation bar or edit the configuration. If we want to go back to the Run tool window, we can use Command and 4 on macOS or Alt and 4 on Windows or Linux. Pressing the same keyboard shortcut again will close the Run window and put the focus back on the editor. As our knowledge of Java grows, we can expand our program. For example, let's add a method to read something from the console. Java 25 has a convenience method to do so. Add a new line above the print line method and type IO. IntelliJ IDEA will show in the code completion dropdown that there are live templates which we can use to generate code for us. When we type IO, we see two options, IOR and IOP, with a description for each. The second will create a print line method for us, like the one we already have. The first will add a method that will read a string, which is what we want to do here. Let's ask the user for their name so we can print that name to the console. We will want to assign the input, name, to a variable. We could move our caret to the start of the line and declare our variable, but IntelliJ IDEA can actually help us and keep us moving forward. When we type a dot after the readLine method, IntelliJ IDEA shows us the available completion that is relevant here. At the top of the list, we see API completion, all of the methods that can be called here. When we scroll down, the list shows postfix completion, templates that can be applied. When we scroll to the end of the list, we see a group of commands. This contains all commands relevant to our current context. We can type a second dot to filter the list to commands only. The list is searchable, so we can type what we are looking for. Since we want to extract a variable, let's type var and select the option Introduce Local Variable. This will open a template declaring a variable of type string in this case. Let's name this variable name and press Enter to confirm. Next, we want to change what we print to the console. Instead of Hello World, we want to print Hello plus the name provided by the user. When we start typing name, we see that IntelliJ IDEA completes the name of our variable. Let's run our program again. We see that the program now asks for our input. When I type my name and press Enter, the program will now print Hello Marit and exit successfully with an exit code 0. As our project grows, we might want to add packages and classes. IntelliJ IDEA has a quick fix to convert our compact source file to a class. Type a dot on the main method and select the option Convert into Regular Class. IntelliJ IDEA will add a class declaration, public class Hello World. Let's also rename our class, as it's no longer a Hello World class, but now prints a name. We can use refactor rename to rename our class. We can use command completion or ... to select the rename action. We see that the code is grayed out here because in the current file it isn't strictly necessary. If we move our class from the root directory to a package, it would need to be a class instead of a compact source file. Packages are used to group together classes that belong to the same category or provide similar functionality, and are useful for organizing large applications with many classes. To create a package, we can right-click on the source folder again and this time select New Package. I'll use my name in this small example, but in larger applications you will want to use package names that reflect how your code is organized in your larger application. We can drag our class to the package that we created. We see that IntelliJ IDEA adds a package statement for us. Now that the class is in a package, we see that the class declaration is no longer redundant. We can add additional packages and classes as our application grows. Before Java 25, we did not have the option to use compact source files. To write a Hello World program, we needed to declare a class instead. Select the package in the Project Tool window, press Command-N on macOS or Alt-Insert on Windows or Linux and select Java Class. We will call our class Hello World. IntelliJ IDEA can create a number of different types of class files. For this tutorial, we'll need a standard class. IntelliJ IDEA will create a new helloworld.java file and generate the basic content of this file, a package statement and class declaration. The class has the same name as the file, following Java standards. Inside the class, we will need to add a main method, which we can do by typing main. There is a live template that will generate the main method for us. Live templates can save us a lot of typing. We can use Command-J on macOS or Control-J on Windows and Linux to see a list of all templates that are valid in the current context. The list is searchable, so we can look for what we want. We can press Escape to close the list. Before Java 25, we did not have the option to use the convenience methods from the Java lang IO package. To print text to the standard system output, we needed to type system.out.println. We can use regular completion to add this code, but there's also a live template available. In this case, we don't even need to type hello world as AI completion already suggests this. We can press Tab to accept the suggestion. We can run classes with the main method either from the green run icon at the class level or from the run icon in the gutter next to the main method itself. We can also run our program from the command line. Open the terminal using the shortcut Option and F12 on macOS or Alt F12 on Windows and Linux. Alternatively, use Shift-Shift, Search Everywhere to search everywhere. Since Java 11, we no longer need to compile the program ourselves before running it. We can type the command Java, the path to our class, and the class name to run it. Personally, I find running my program from the IDE much easier than from the command line, but just in case, now we know how to do so. In this tutorial, we looked at how to write our first Java application in Java 25, how we can grow our application, and how we can write our first Java application with versions of Java older than Java 25. Let us know what you think or which Java version you're currently using in the comments below. And if you like this video and want to learn more, please like and subscribe.